Hey y'all, we're not having youth ministry again this week, so I wanted to make a little video and just give a little spiritual thought for the time. It really stinks that we can't be together. I wish we could, but things are the way they are. But it's really given me time to reflect and think about I don't know, just life, I guess. I've been reading some stuff. I've been reading particularly, if that's a word, about Saint Therese of Lisieux. And one of the things that really struck me about her is how she lived in the present. And I want to just talk about that today, just for a few minutes, just a little spiritual thought for this week. She wouldn't focus on the past. She wouldn't focus on the future. She'd focus on the present. And why is that? Well, there's this passage from Psalm 146. It's verses 3 and 4 that have been in my head as I reflect on all the things I've wanted to do. For the past 3 weeks, I've wanted to do a lot of things around the house. I had all sorts of plans. And all of those plans have pretty much come to nothing. And I could be upset about that. I could complain about that. I could really be bogged down by that. But instead, I want to look at it the way St. Therese did. And the way she looked at it was live in the present. God is always working. God is always active. And so here's this passage. Put not your trust in princes, and a son of man in whom there is no help. When his breath departs, he returns to his earth. On that very day, his plans perish. It's kind of strong. But my thought with this is that, if David wrote this psalm, he's a warrior. And he gets how important this is. You could put your trust in princes. You could put your trust in bigger and bigger weapons when you're on the battlefield. But instead he says, no, you can't put your trust in anything of this earth. You just trust in God. And what's that mean? When you're on the battlefield, whether it's David's battlefield or the battlefield of life, things are going to come. And the way they come, we have to trust that God is providing for it. We don't always understand why he's doing what he's doing. We don't understand why he allows what he allows. There's a lot of questions that go with it. But what we do know is this, that all things work together for the good of those who love God. That comes from Romans. So we know that even when our plans don't quite work out, God still has a plan for us. God is still leading us. And so I've been reflecting on that I've had a lot of plans, but kind of like this passage says, that my plans have come to nothing, which means it's time for me to let go and let God, as the saying goes. It's time for me to say, okay, God, what do you want from me today? And go with it. No strings attached. Not my plans, not my will, but your will, God. And wherever that leads me, well, I know that where that's going to lead me, and that's going to lead me to heaven. And so I encourage you guys, we've got to make plans, right? We all got to make plans, but at the end of the day, we're not the ones in charge of our lives. God is. So make your plans, be responsible, do what you got to do. Don't fail to turn in your homework and say, oh, well, PJ said, just live in the present. I didn't want to do it, or whatever. You know how it is. But trust in God. Because whatever he's got planned today, we don't know what it is. But we do know that through the good times and the bad times, he's leading us to eternal glory. And there's nothing better than that.